Okay, this week we're going to be practicing question types that you will see when you are working with your reading books and text. So we're going to start with the first type today is going to be reading and analyzing the text. Okay, so you have narrative text and you have informational and opinion text. With narrative text, they have characters, the people involved in the action of the story. They have settings, where the story takes place. They have a problem, the challenge or conflict the characters face in the story. And they have a solution, how is the challenge or conflict solved. In informational or opinion text, it has a main idea, which is the most important idea the author wants to communicate. It has key details, which are ideas that support the main idea. That's what we worked on last week. And they have point of view, how the author feels about the topic. So you will have in the Google Classroom, you will have a text to practice on called Bear. And in that text, you will have some questions that you'll have to answer at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go to the text. Okay, so you'll see it come up here. Bear. On Saturday, Jenna walked toward the garage to get her bike. All of a sudden, bushes near the garage started shaking. An instant later, a huge, furry head, then shoulders, emerged from behind the leaves. Gina's next thought was a single word, bear. Gina's fourth grade class at Smithtown Elementary School had discussed recent bear sightings. Her teacher had posted a sign about what to do if anybody saw a bear. Gina never expected that one would show up in her backyard. Now she was glad she had read those rules for keeping safe near bears. Jenna knew not to look the bear in the eye or run away. The sign said to make noise, so Jenna started yelling and banging her bike helmet. She slowly backed toward the house. Fortunately, the bear never approached her. "Mom, there's a bear in our backyard!" Jenna shouted as she burst into the kitchen. Her mother raced down the stairs and looked out the window. The bear was climbing the big maple tree in their yard. Jenna's mother quickly found a phone number for the State Wildlife Service. Within 10 minutes, 2 officers were at their door. Jenna pointed to a low branch of the maple tree where the bear had settled. The officers went to their van and brought out a gun. "Are they going to kill the poor bear?" Jenna asked. "No, that's a tranquilizer gun," her mother said. "They'll shoot the bear with medicine to put the bear to sleep. Then the officers can take it away." What will happen to the bear, Jenna wondered. The officers will take the bear to the forest far from town and release it. After the bear was safely stowed in the animal control van, one of the officers thanked Jenna and her mother for their call. "Be sure to tell your neighbors to put their garbage in a place where bears can't reach it," he said. "Bears can smell food from a long distance. Raiding garbage cans is easier than hunting for food, so bears will keep coming back if people aren't careful. I promise to tell my whole class about it on Monday." So the first thing I noticed about the story was its title, which was Bear, okay, with an exclamation point. So from this title, I can infer that the problem in the story will most likely involve someone who is surprised by a bear. My reading confirms this inference. A girl named Jenna sees a bear in her backyard. The backyard is the setting and the bear is the problem. I'll draw a star in the margin next to the story's problem. Okay? If you print out this story, then you can draw a star in the margin next to the problem. Okay? Or you can just kind of keep that in mind. Okay? So if we're thinking about some questions for guiding us through this story. Okay, what's the problem in the story? The problem in the story is that Jenna sees a bear in her yard. So when you're answering this type of question, you need to use the question in the answer, which I did here. What's the problem in the story? The problem in the story is that Jenna sees a bear in her yard. I didn't just write Jenna sees a bear or bear. A complete answer has part of the question in the answer. Who helps Jenna and her mother with the bear? Wildlife officers help Jenna and her mother with the bear. What does Jenna worry about when the officers get out their equipment? Jenna worries that the officers are going to harm the bear when she sees the tranquilizer gun. Then what does she worry about? Jenna is then worried about what will happen to the bear. See, I'm using the question in the answer. What advice does one of the officers give Jenna and her mother to help prevent the problem from happening again? The advice that one of the officers give Jenna and her mother to help prevent the problem from happening again is to put their garbage in the place where the bears can't reach it. So as you can see, I have used part of the question in every single one of my answers. That is a complete sentence with a complete answer, using the questions in the answer. So you're going to go into Google Classroom and you will open up the assignment. It will be called Bear. Okay, you will have the text on the top, just like this. Okay, and you'll see there's an arrow right here. The arrow is telling you, hey, please go down. Okay, I've made one of these so everybody can do their own. And the third really page is the assignment. So you're going to use the story Bear to answer the questions below. You can type your answers directly into the boxes provided. Make sure to use complete sentences using part of the question in the answer. The first one is done for you. When you are finished, share with your teacher. So I wrote the first one was, what's the problem in the story? That's my example. My example answer, the problem in the story is that Jenna sees a bear in her yard. Okay, so you'll just have to do the other questions here and share it with your teacher.